What's going on, guys? It's Ruben here, back with another video. Today we're going to be going over my racket setup and what's in my bag, kind of like what I put in my bag when I'm preparing for a tournament. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So what we're going to start with is the main bag. Alright, so it is this Nike tennis bag. It is discontinued. I'm going to be dropping links in the description below. So just make sure you hit like, subscribe, and then check out the links in the subscription for where I got these items. A lot of them I did get on eBay, and I will drop those links as well. You can find them on Amazon, Dick's Sporting Goods, things like that. So like I said, we're gonna start with this bag. It has a lot of great pockets. It's a Nike tennis bag. It is unfortunately discontinued, but it has these pockets here, insulated, so you can put like a cold drink, like a Gatorade, things like that. Pockets for your rackets. Another pocket inside of like a locker room construction here, little flap there, and then it has this third pocket for like clothes, things like that, and this pocket up here for keys, wallets, things of that nature. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna start with the farthest pocket, right? So the things I like to put in this pocket are things like my towels. So here I like to use this Gatorade towel. You're gonna see in this corner below. It's gonna show you like a little closer video. I like to use this Gatorade towel to, wipe my face off, keep cool, things like that. I also like to use this banana towel. I always keep 2 towels with me at all times to make sure like if that Gatorade towel ever gets dirty or it gets too wet, I have a backup towel as well. You will notice that I have quite a few backups during the tournaments, just in case something breaks or I need more of one thing. Also going in this pocket, I have my Penn Championship tennis balls. I use extra duty since most of the time I'm practicing, I am playing on hard court. If I was to practice on clay, then I would get the regular duty or the Wilson US Open regular duty tennis balls. So I'll put those in there. Next, I like to put my string of choice, which is Restring Zero. It is by the brand Restring, so I do use their string, like I said, called Zero. It is a 6-sided poly. I think it's great. It has great snapback. It has a great durability. I am also affiliate of Restring, so if you want to get 10% off any purchase of any item at their store, you just use the code TRC right here, and you get 10% off any purchase of any item at that store. For that pocket as well, I like to use my massage gun here. It is a Dartwood. I got it a bunch of years ago when I lived in Jacksonville at Target. Jacksonville doesn't have anything to do with that. That's just a time period of when I got this massage gun. I think it was about $80. I got it on a Black Friday deal. Shout out to my buddy Mo. And yeah, I love this thing before a tournament, right after a match, whenever I need to get loose or I feel like something's tight, maybe like my trap or my shoulder area. I'll either have somebody use the gun on me or I'll use it on myself, if I do have a family member or something at the tournament. So this massage gun is definitely a lifesaver when it comes to traveling to tournaments and things like that. Last but not least, I like to pack an extra shirt, usually a dry fit shirt, sometimes a t-shirt if I haven't done laundry that week, just in case I sweat through my main shirt that I'm wearing for the day for the tournament, right? And especially on the drive home, right? There's nothing worse than getting in your car, the shirt is sticking to your chest and your back, and you're getting your car all sweaty. So I like to make sure I use those towels like I have in this pocket here to dry myself off, and then use this extra shirt to make sure I have a nice dry shirt on the drive home. I have this Lake Yola 5K shirt that I got for obviously doing the Lake Yola 5K with my brother and my sister. You can check out that photo right there. But yeah, I like to have an extra shirt for tournaments so I'm not getting into my car all sticky and sweaty. And then one more thing, I almost forgot about this. I like to make sure that I have a water bottle filled with water. I usually bring 2 water bottles. I don't have the other one with me right now, but I like to fill one with water and then one with liquid IV that I will be getting to later. Just to obviously make sure that I'm staying hydrated, staying ready to go for the tournament and the multiple matches that usually I will play in a day during the USTA tournaments. So now we're going to be moving to this middle pocket here. What I usually like to put in this middle pocket and what it's good for is things like wristbands, overgrips, shoes, things of that nature. So what we're gonna start off with are my shoes. All right, so currently I use the Nike Zoom Cage 4, Zoom Vapor Cage 4, whatever you wanna call it. It is the shoe that is endorsed by Rafael Nadal. He obviously doesn't use it. He uses the Zoom Cage 3 because he has a lot of foot issues and things like that. But this is a shoe that I like to use. It's very durable, very stable. The heel slippage is, moderate, but I just make sure I tie my laces a little extra tight and it eliminates that issue. So I like to put these at the bottom pocket right here. Next thing I like to put in this center pocket is my overgrips. I like to use white overgrips. I'm currently using the Vocal overgrips. I think they're great. They're pretty cheap, honestly, cheaper than Realest or Tourney grips. So they're white. I like the white. It's tacky. I know a lot of people, especially in Florida where I live, they use the Tourney blue grips that usually absorb sweat. I don't really like those too much. They seem to fall apart in my hand. They get really kind of like, what is it called, sandpapery. Once you use them like 2 to 3 times, and I'm just not about that. I'm all about my money. These, obviously they don't break. You just have to change them after, every now and again. But I like these, they're very durable, very tacky. So if you're into tacky grips, again, like I said, I'll leave a description in the bottom, or leave a link in the bottom of the description with the Vocal overgrips. So I like to put those right up here on the top little locker room shelf. Next thing I like to put is this K-tape. Everybody knows K-tape doesn't really do anything. I like to use it around my knees. Obviously I like the aesthetic of it. It makes me feel like Nadal. Obviously I don't play like Nadal, I'm a 3-5, right? I just like the aesthetic of it, and it does help a little bit with my jumper's knee. It helps put a little pressure on that area so it doesn't hurt usually after I'm playing. But yeah, I like the K-tape, and I usually put it right over here along on the top little locker section. Next, I have this little pre-wrap, self-adhesive wrap, if you want to call it. I use it to wrap my fingers in. If I have any blisters, cuts, or anything like that, it doesn't really get in the way of me handling the ball or handling my racket. And it doesn't, it's pretty durable. It doesn't disintegrate or anything like that with the sweat that you will produce during a tennis match. And I like to keep that in the main top pocket as well. Next thing I like to put in that top little locker pocket is this lacrosse ball. As tennis players, we're on our feet the whole match, obviously. And after a match, there's nothing more that I like to do than use that massage gun that I talked about earlier, and also roll my feet out or a specific part of my back or my butt on this little lacrosse ball. I've had this lacrosse ball for years. It's really great. It's definitely helped with when I had plantar fasciitis. It helped me roll out some kinks in my feet and things like that. It's really great. I would definitely recommend getting a lacrosse ball. You can get one at Big Sporting Goods, Amazon, anywhere where they sell sporting goods, you can get a lacrosse ball. Usually not expensive at all. Again, it's one lacrosse ball. Love rolling it on my feet to ease the stress and the tension in my feet. Next, I like to put in my liquid IV. I usually have a bag of liquid IV along with some Cliff Bars, some snacks, things like that to make sure I'm staying fueled and hydrated during the match. Just like I said earlier with the water bottle, I like to put water, and I also like to have a water bottle with liquid IV in it to make sure that I'm hydrated and fueled throughout the tournament and the individual matches. Next thing I put in here is this rosin grip. It is from Tourney. You can get this at Big Sporting Goods. I believe that's where I got this. It is in this Ziploc bag now because it is like a chalk, so I don't want it to get all over my bag and then make it look like I have this crazy substance all over in my tennis bag. I like to use this when my hands, or before my hands get really sweaty, if it's a really hot day, which it usually is in Florida. I like to make sure I spray or pour some of this in my hands, make sure I rub it around, just like LeBron James, and then just put on my hands and make sure that my hands are ready to go for the tournament and nice and dry. Again, I like to put this in this top pocket here and make sure that it's secure so it's not going anywhere. And again, that's why it's in that plastic bag so it's not spraying all over my tennis bag. Another essential that I like to use is this headband, this Nike headband, sweatband, whatever you want to call it, the Nadal headband, Federer headband. Again, there's a lot of names for it. I like to wear headbands when I play tennis. I know a lot of people are really into wearing hats now. That's kind of the new, not the new thing, but one of the new aesthetic things that I guess tennis tennis players are liking. It keeps the sun out of your eyes, things like that. I have brown eyes, so it doesn't really affect me as much as somebody maybe with blue eyes. But I feel like I really like the headband. Again, I'm all about aesthetics, so I really like the aesthetic of the headband with the middle part, whatever part you want to do with your hair. I think it looks really great, and I love my headband. I usually have 2 or 3 of these in my bags in case I sweat through them, or switching them out during the matches for the tournament. A couple more things I like to put in the top little shelf for the locker are some resistance bands. I like to use these to stretch before my matches, get in the game, get in the zone, you know, stretch out my shoulders, stretch out my lats, things like that to get ready. Even for my legs, just put the resistance band over my leg, do some stretches, and be ready to go for the match. I also use these sweatbands, or these wristbands rather. I have 2 sets of wristbands, so 4 wristbands in totals. They're both Nike. You can get these on the Nike website, I still believe. And these, I got these on eBay for I think $10 to $12. Again, the link will be in the description below. I like these, I like the classic white. These are reversible, so if you guys can see, it is black on the inside, so you can reverse it if you'd like. I don't ever do that, but again, if you want, you can do that. These are not reversible. It's all the same pattern throughout the wristband, just a little orange with some black dots. I like that. So both of these things go in the top locker, and that's what's concluding going into this center pocket. Next, what we're gonna talk about is we're gonna go for what goes in this top pocket here. All right, so the things that I like to keep in this top pocket are my GoPro, charging cables, an extra necklace that I have, extra overgrips that I give to people, hair bands, things of that nature. So, like I have here, my GoPro. It is a GoPro Hero 7 Black. Obviously, it's not the newest model, but it gets the job done, right? So that goes in the top pocket here. Also, I keep a extra grocery bag in here. I know some states, they don't allow you to have these anymore. They're like a banned substance. I have one here because I live in Florida, and Florida doesn't care about the environment. So I have a ton of these just laying around, and I make sure to always have one for my sweaty clothes, right? Like I said, I carry around that extra shirt, so where does that shirt that I'm wearing during the match goes? It goes in here to make sure it doesn't get the rest of my bag smelling disgusting. So that goes in this top pocket here. I also like to keep my headphones in here. I use these Bose, I think Quiet Tech something. I don't exactly remember the name, but they're Bluetooth. They work really well, and they stay out of the way. They have the noise cancellation as well, which you can click on the ear. It works really great, and they're not super bulky. I also usually use Beats before the match. Obviously, I'm not listening to music during the match. But before, when I'm just like stretching, things like that, I like the over-the-ear headphones just to kind of, you know, get in the zone, right? And then last but not least for this pocket, I like to keep this GLD necklace here. Again, look in the right corner to see what it looks like. It's nothing crazy, nothing too fancy. Just a little necklace that I like to add on top of this necklace that I have right now. It's just something that I've worn for a while now. Just something, it's like a comfort thing at this point. Again, that goes in this top pocket. I usually put that on before I even leave the house on tournament day. Next, we're gonna get to these 2 pockets. We're not gonna get to the racket pocket first. We're gonna go to this side pocket. Like I said before, it usually is used for holding Gatorades and things like that, but I use it to hold my sunblock, right? I usually have my Gatorade in my hand or something like that, or I'm drinking the liquid IV in another water bottle, so I don't need a Gatorade, right? So I keep my sunblock in here. I use Coppertone Sport, 50 SPF, 4-in-1. You know, some people say, oh, don't use sunblock, it has carcinogens, things like that. I use sunblock because I'm not trying to get cancer, right? So I put it in this pocket, zip that up, and it's ready to go. Also in these little mini bags, mini tennis bags here, I like to put extra dampeners. I think I have one in here, an extra Wilson dampener. You guys can't see that. But yeah, just in case a dampener flies off my strings or anything like that. And last but not least, we have the racket pocket over here. So this is where I keep my new racket. If you notice in the videos before, I was using a Wilson Pro Staff version 13, the last Pro Staff that Roger Federer was using. Obviously he has a signature model. I was not using that model. But currently, I have switched over to the Yonex V-Core 98. Right, it's a 305 gram racket, unstrung. It's has a full bed of race string 0 in here, which I am ambassador for that company. Again, use my code TRC for 10% off any product in that store. I have lead tape at the 3 and 9 position to add some stability, white overgrip. This is the racket that I'm using for the 2025-2026 tennis season. And I have 3 of them, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3. The dampeners that I'm using this Puerto Rican dampener. I'll get up and show you guys. This is the dampener that I'm using right now. I got it at Tennis Plaza. I think it was like $3 or $4, something like that. Super inexpensive. It's a dampener. It shouldn't be $20, right? But yeah, that's the racket that I'm using for this season. If you guys enjoyed this video and this what's in the bag and new racket setup, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, hit that post notification button. And again, if you guys enjoyed this video, thank you so much and have a good one. See ya!